rock concert. Just turn it up. I see. There we go. Come on. For grace. Everybody got to declare it. Everybody get on your feet. Say, this is my season. Yes, to reap what I have sown. Let me testify just a minute. See, I haven't been perfect. No. But I sure been faithful. God's got a purpose, hey, and I know He's able. I've got a seed in the ground that He's blessing. No more stressing. I've got a seed in the ground, and it's growing. Now it's showing. This is my seed. Come on, church, for grace, for favor. Yes, it is. This is my season. Give me some of this mic right here. Give me this mic right here. Come on, sing it again, church. Say, this is my seed for grace, for favor. Yes, it is. This is my seed. Everybody declare to reap what I have sown. Listen, I want you to say, everything is working together for my good. Yeah, everything is working together, yeah, for my good. You declare it, say, everything is working together for my good. I believe it is now working together for my good. Now you just declare it's good. It's good. Say it's good. Say it's working for my good. It's good, y'all. It's good, y'all. I declare it's good. Said it's working for me. It didn't feel good. It didn't look good. And when I wasn't good, it was working for me. Said He's been good. Said He's been good. Said it's working for my good. For my good. My season for grace, for favor. Come on, church. This is my season. Yeah. To reap. Now, just in case some of you weren't here Sunday, let me just help you understand what favor means. Look at your neighbor, tell them favor means that God is about to lean in my direction. Now somebody prophesy, just say, God is leaning in my direction. Somebody prophesy with your body language, say, He's leaning. Yes, He is in my direction. I got to go, say, this is my season. Come on, church. Grace, favor. I believe it is now my season. Will you raise your hand and say, to reap what I have sown. I've got a seed in the ground. Somebody that's been faithful, open your mouth, say, I got a seed in the ground. Somebody who say, I don't need a preacher from out of town to come declare nothing over my life. I want you to open up your own mouth and tell the devil everything is working. See, some of y'all waiting on your flesh to confirm it. Somebody command your soul to bless the Lord. Everything is working together for my good. Open your own mouth, prophesy. Everything is working together, yeah, bless you. Somebody prophesy with your body language. Just lean on your neighbor. Tell him, say, God is leading in my direction. Say it again. God is leading. Yes, he is. In my direction. One more time. Lean on your neighbor. Tell him, say, God is leading. Throwing his weight around in my direction. 'Cause this is my season for grace, for favor. Yes, it is. This is my season. Hands up if you believe it. To reap what I got a seed in the ground. Come on, open your mouth and praise him. Come on, open your mouth and praise him.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And welcome to Lez Chat Dallas. Thank you for joining us on this evening. I have got a seed in the ground, and that seed is, of course, Praise in the Park. And if you haven't heard, now you will hear it again and probably 10,000 more times before October the 10th. And that is Praise in the Park Worship Without Walls. It will take place at Opportunity Park in South Dallas. And I just thank God for giving me this ministry, for giving me this business plan, this vision. The vision has been written, and I'm now seeing it come to pass. And everything that I'm doing, I'm here learning, guys. I'm learning. I am getting information, and whatever information I get, I am happy to pass it on to you because as much as I want Praise in the Park to be successful and Honey Child Ministries to be successful, Lez Chat Dallas to be successful. I want your businesses to be successful as well. And as I'm here today, I cannot help but go ahead and pay homage to some of my sponsors. I have sponsors in Diamond Quality Cuts. That's Quan Diamond. He also has a charity where he does cut hair for free on occasions, and he will be providing free haircuts at the Praise in the Park event. My very good friend, Yvette Menier of Emerald Dreams. She has some beautiful accessories that she also sells, and she's one that I probably should have invited as well tonight because she has multiple streams of income and very interested in wealth building. And of course, my friends at Tulips Balm, they have that natural hair, skin, and body care products, and they are also one of my sponsors and vendors for Praise in the Park. And so these are the things that God has been blessing me with. And even though some of it is in kind income, some of it is, just you do for me, I do for you, it is helping all of us build our businesses. And so that's why I invited my guests here tonight. I have Brianna Gregory, and I just met Brianna, I think today, in a podcasting group where we were looking for guests and we connected, and I invited her to come on the show and interject. So thank you for being here, Brianna. I'll let each one of you do an intro. And of course, my friend Stephanie is here, and she is quickly becoming my co-host. If I can wrangle her in, she is an awesome show guest, and if she'll come and sit up here with me whenever I get ready to, then hey, you can have a piece of
Of
the pie.
course.
And
Yes,
then we
ma'am.
have Jesus Hawthorne. He's actually Stephanie's cousin and an instructor of financial literacy. So we definitely need him here tonight. So I thank all of you for being guests. And Jesus, I'm gonna let you have the floor in a minute, but just from Brianna and Stephanie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, my name's Brianna Gregory. I'm a 22-year-old with an 8-month-old son who's absolutely the love of my life, and then a disabled veteran husband who, he's the love of my life too, but I love my baby. But my business is I own my own design and marketing agency, and we specialize in helping bold business owners and startup companies, get in front of their target audience and achieve, financial wellness and freedom. So that's a little bit about me, what I do.
Thank you for
My
being
name is
here,
Stephanie
Brianna. Go ahead.
Harrison.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. My name is Stephanie Harrison. I am also the owner of the nonprofit Save the People Foundation. And what we do there is we make sure that we find thousands and many of people that have different issues out here and they need to be rescued and saved. We teach them that they are no longer voiceless, that we are the voice for them to help them speak and help others stop going through whatever they have to go through as well.
Thank you so much for that. Hey, sis, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Jesus Hawthorne Senior. I'm also known as Mr. MUB, and the MUB stand for Mr. Make You Better. One of the main things that we emphasize is that we don't interrupt anything that you currently got going on. We take what you currently got going on, and we actually make your whole life better by the application of some basic financial practices that will steamroll into wealth if you operate within these practices. Hello.
I'm sorry, I was just talking. I said that is definitely what we want to focus on tonight
Okay.
is breaking through that poverty mindset and
All
you
right.
know give us some of the tools that we need to where we can use the tools that we already have and the things that we already know to go to the next level. Jesus.
All
So
right.
I definitely appreciate you being here.
No problem.
And so all of us, I guess, are business owners and have an expertise in some area. So, like I said, I am a student tonight. I mean, Brianna is 22 years old. You are a year younger than my youngest child, and you are already a profitable business owner. And
Thank you.
with you being so young, tell me where that came from. Did you grow up in a house of doers and workers and things like that? How did you get started in your business?
So, the tragic story actually of how I really got started in my business and, my go-getter mindset is I do come from a strong household of single women who just, you will see them working day to night to multiple jobs every time. And so I really got a great example of that. But after I finished, my high school career, I didn't want to go the route of being a nurse, what my mother currently is. But of course, nursing is important, but it's just not for me. I always wanted to own my own business. I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to make somebody else rich. I wanted to make myself rich. So I told my mother of these aspirations, and she was very frightened that I wasn't going, because it's a tradition to go into the medical field among my family. So she was very frightened, very scared. We had a tragic death in the family, and she just could not take it. So, unfortunately, she said, I cannot afford to take care of you. I can't afford to put you through college, through this crazy dream that you have. So, you're just going to have to do it yourself. And
Wow.
so, yeah, that was something that kind of broke my heart, but I just, I got out of that house with 3 pairs of clothes, my old school bag, and like a pair of old dusty tennis shoes. And I lived with my friend's parents for a while in their attic. And all the time I was just on the computer, just learning about business plans, about marketing strategies, and about graphic design, what I went to college for and what I graduated for.
Mhm.
So just to make a long story short, after 2 years of going to college, and then I have 2 semesters left of my bachelor's degree currently, I just didn't want to go into a business that was going to make somebody else richer. I
Mhm.
always saw how my grandmother worked for Chrysler as a supervisor, but the time she put in, she could make a multi-million dollar business. My
Mhm.
mother
Mhm.
tried to start a hair salon business, and then the competition was so fierce, and we just got drowned out, and she had to unfortunately close shop. So I
Mhm.
was seeing all these things around me, all these tragedies around me, and I'm thinking, what can I do right to make sure I don't close down, to make sure I don't suffer, and make sure my family doesn't suffer?
Mhm.
So I recommend, even if you can't afford to go to college, or if there's not scholarships available, or wide FAFSA available, I recommend hitting the books, studying, researching. There's YouTube courses, there's free Google courses, college classes online, recordings. Just watch it, read it, study it, take notes, do anything that you can, because I just a little bragging right. Currently, I'm 22 years old, and I have seven startups wanting to sign with my firm September the 1st. So,
Awesome.
tomorrow.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
incredible. It's incredible because you are so young. Both of my daughters are around your age, and they have good careers. That I do have to admit that, and they are very self-sufficient. But I've been talking to them both about starting their own business in addition to what they do for work, so that they can grow and build wealth and all that kind of thing. And so for having someone so young on the show is very inspirational for me. Now you said, are you in branding and marketing? Is that the business that you're in?
So, what my company is called Brown and Gregory Design Co. And yes, we do develop companies' brand identities.
Hmm.
So how their brand voice speaks on social media platforms and advertising, how they look overall when they're going to pitch meetings to investors. And we do implement a lot of organic marketing. So marketing where we put in the footwork to do strategies for you, to do social media management for you, and community management, so you don't have to break the bank. Because startups, like 95% of startups fail, unfortunately, and unless they don't have a good, solid foundation, they are most likely to fail. So we don't want to see that happen. We swoop in, give you services that are friendly to your budget, and help you prevail in life, because I have found my path of financial freedom. So I want to show others exactly how to do that themselves.
So, I mean, is how important is branding? That's one thing that I have been caught up in for the last year or so, is just establishing myself as a brand. I mean, how important is that as far as your
Okay.
ability to make money?
Oh, it is absolutely important. I can't,
Yeah.
stress branding enough. You go to Walmart, you can go to Walmart right now. You will see Dove, you will see, coffee chain Starbucks on the aisles, and you will see their branding, you will see their brand packaging, you will see their message, and then you're most likely to buy from that. If you don't have a good packaging design or a brand identity design, in the first place, nobody's going to trust you. Nobody's going to buy from you. Are you going to buy
Correct.
from the company who has this high detailed, really attractive, really eye-catching logo, or are you going to buy from this other company that has, just random elements and picked art stuff in their logo. Which one are you going to go to? Which one is the most trusted source? So, branding is really just like, okay, I'm looking for something. I need something to catch my eye. I need something that's going to add value back in my life. Let me find it. And then your brand is that magnet that lets customers, clients, anybody come to you.
Awesome. Jesus, did you want to jump in here on that part?
She's absolutely correct. Hey, first of all, I want to give a big applaud to this young lady, man, because with me having a household of girls, and I'm trying to move them into that direction, but yet they see what Pop's doing, and they like, I don't want no part of that. But she is absolutely correct, and stay strong, stay focused, and stay
Thank
determined,
you. Thank you.
because it's definitely coming. Because you own what I like to call the right side of capitalism. You on the right side of capitalism. You got to understand there's two people in the United States. Believe it or not, even through all the races and the genders, there are owners and then there's workers, and how the country is set up mostly through laws, and all the laws and stuff that's set up, it leans towards the side of all ownership. So that's the one have all the perks and privileges. Matter of fact, to the point, I created a hashtag that says membership has its privileges, and the membership is the membership of ownership. And it's so keen through her conversation because she was actually talking about like what she visually seen and understand. Like my cousin Stephanie, she's on here, and we come from a hardworking family. From her aunt, uh, um, I mean her mother, my aunt, her dad, my uncle, my mother. Uh, Majority of the women in our family has a nursing background. From my grandmother, who was in nursing for over 50 years, my mother that was in nursing for 35 years. So when that young lady spoke and she talking about I saw and I understood, like, nah, there has to be something greater. She is absolutely correct. She is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
What most people don't understand is that when you have a job and a job alone, because first one thing, I'm not going to be here to bash jobs, because literally 95% of people in the United States has jobs, but you cannot have a job in a job alone for this reason. If you have a job and a job alone, you're volunteering to give away 33% of your income, off top. You volunteering. Now it doesn't matter if you're an NBA athlete. It doesn't matter if you go big in Hollywood. If you get paid off what we call a W-2, which is a tax form that you get at the end of the year, which is basically stating that you are an employee. So you ever heard of athletes when they go broke?
Okay. Or
This is
lottery
a situation.
winners.
Yeah, lottery winners go broke. Now these tax codes tell the government how much money to take out of your check. So if you are let's say we're going to talk about it on the high end. So that way it makes more sense when we discuss it on the practical end. So, okay, if you were an athlete and you had $1 million contract, because that's what that's what these kids out there playing football for, right? Every Saturday, every Friday, every Wednesday, Thursday. If you got kids, young men, especially in Texas, 9 times out of 10, they got dreams and aspirations of being a big time football player. Why? Because they want to get that $1 million contract so mom ain't got to work no more, right? All right. So he is a professional athlete. He's working off of a W-2 because the Cowboys is the one who's cutting his check, right? Because everybody dreams in Texas to play for the Cowboys. All right. So he gets $1 million contract. Soon as he get paid, imagine $333,000 of that money out of that $1 million goes directly to taxes. How would you feel about that?
I mean, that's a good chunk. That's a pretty good chunk.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So what I'm talking about, the significance of these tax codes, right? Because when you were an employee and an employee alone, you saying that it's okay for you to take that amount. It is okay for you to take that amount. $333,000 off rip goes directly to federal taxes. Then they go pay another 10%. They go pay another 10% to their sports agent. So that's over $444,000 off
Wait, they
rip.
didn't tithe first?
And they got to pay their tithes. So guess what? That's another 100,000. That's another 100,000.
Right.
So they got to pay their tithes. So okay, you were absolutely correct. I apologize in advance. Uh, they paid 100,000 to their tithes to the church.
Mhm.
They paid 333,000 to the federal government, and then they paid another 100,000. Uh, they paid another 100,000 to their sports agent. So off of this $1 million contract that they've been working all their life to receive, uh,
They
so
have
right
less
now,
than half.
that's more than half. That's more.
Mhm.
That's literally more than half, and then you got to live off the rest of it, taking care of mom and everything else. So, but the biggest bill was actually taxes, federal
Mhm.
taxes. Most people don't understand that you actually have the ability to control how much money that you pay in taxes, but you got to have all your ducks lined up in a row.
Mhm.
And you have all your ducks lined up in a row. On the practical aspect, on the practical, like, so let's scale it back down. We're talking about the nurses, right?
Mhm.
All right. Now imagine if every nurse, instead of just having a nursing job and alone, because most of the time for them to maintain the quality of life that they would like, because they didn't go to school for nothing. The RNs, the LPNs,
Right.
we seen them all. Yeah, it's a quality of life that they desired, right? Imagine, instead of you having to put those extra hours in, if you got a home-based business, you'll be able to recoup all that money that you normally pay in taxes. So let's say you were a brand new RN just graduating from school, and you making by $80,000 to $100,000 a year, by $80,000 a year, not even RN, let's say LPN, yeah, by $80,000 a year. So instead of one third of that going to taxes, what if you was able to keep that money?
Mhm.
Because think about this: every time that you work overtime, you
Mhm.
pay double taxes.
Okay. Yeah.
Every time, hear me out. Every time you work overtime, you paying double the amount in taxes. So that's why. Have y'all ever been in a position where, when I don't know you know if y'all ever had like regular jobs? I had a regular job before,
Mhm.
and then when I did overtime, and in your head you calculating what your check should be.
Right.
And then when you actually looked at your check, you ready to go to HR trying to figure out where did my money go.
Mhm.
You like,
The
hold up,
math don't add up.
yo, my check supposed to look like X, Y, and Z. And you go all the way to HR. You got you got an attitude, and you're hot. And then they break it down to you. Well, what happened was the majority of that money, if you thought you was going to get, more of it went to taxes.
Mhm.
So that's why it's like, as an employee and an employee alone, you feel like you digging yourself in a deeper hole, where it's like, seem like no matter how much more I make, it feel like the more that they what take.
Take. Yeah.
It's like, people's like, man, it don't matter how much more. The reason why is because you're on the wrong side of capitalism.
Mhm.
Now, there's a concept that's called income shifting, when you actually learn how to control. Basically, you learn how to keep the government out of your pocket, and you keep majority of the money that you make legally, ethically, and morally.
Okay.
Legally, ethically, and morally. These laws are put in place where a normal person could abide by what we call the Billionaire Boys Club.
Mhm.
And what we mean by the Billionaires Boys Club, have you ever noticed when people, the extremely rich people, the elitists, they have, like, I'm gonna use something we can identify with, like Sean Combs,
Mhm.
very flashy, private jets, limousines. All of those things can be tax deductible because, for one, he's the owner of what? Bad Boy.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
He's the owner of Bad Boy. He has a business,
Mhm.
which makes things that will be considered lifestyle tax deductible, because he's able to take those things and make them a part of his business.
Wow.
So let's say if you had a home based business, whether it's Mary Kay, or whatever, this and that, you can take things that will be considered lifestyle and make those things tax deductible. So like right now, I'm in
Mhm.
my bedroom. I'm in my
Mhm.
bedroom.
Mhm.
So technically, if I wanted to be, I can say, like, you know what, this is my office space.
Mhm.
So like my house is 3,200 square foot. I can say, well, this particular square footage of this house right here. I use it for office purposes, and the money that I was gonna be paying for mortgage anyway, I can make this proportion of it tax deductible, so I'll be able to write
Right.
it off.
And
So
you
at the
know
same,
what? I actually
mhm,
found that I did not know it because I've been
mhm.
an independent contractor for about 6 years now,
Yes, ma'am.
and I didn't realize that until this year because when I really had to go through and fine tooth go through my taxes with a fine tooth comb, like right now I live in a 2-bedroom apartment,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
about 3/4 of my apartment I found could be considered my place of business. Not only I'm an independent contractor, but this is also the address of my nonprofit organization. So I mean, I'm like, I can write the whole apartment off if I want
Ye-
to. you
yes,
know?
yeah, and the key point of the beginning of this, we said mindset.
Mhm.
The practical person who has been raised and groomed by employees will believe that it's not available to them.
Mhm.
So imagine that picture that you showed up at the very beginning
Mhm.
where you have a kid that's trying to push forward, but
Mhm.
he's hoodwinked. Wow.
Mhm.
He's hoodwinked by this poverty mindset. And
Mhm.
that's majority come off of
Wow.
things that he's seen because nobody ever showed him. He haven't seen this. So
Right.
only thing he has seen is things that normally that you because he's trying to move forward, but the only thing that he's seen is in poverty. So
Mhm.
if you had this conversation with the basic person that hasn't been enlightened, they'll be like, you can't do that. You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna go to jail. They're gonna say and basically do whatever it takes to try to stop you from doing what is lawfully God writtenly for you to do. These
Mhm.
laws are in place to you, but you be surprised, like you said,
Mhm.
dragging, like he's hoodwinked and dragging as he's trying to move forward. Those are literally the people in your life that normally have the most influence. They don't have
Yeah.
what you want, but they like family, friends, certain
Yes.
associates. So
I,
like
you know,
as
I have a nursing story myself. I mean, my
okay,
dad was a nurse. He was the valedictorian of his nursing class, and my mother wanted me to be a nurse. I was completely terrible in math and science. I never made more than a C in math and science. So
okay,
being a nurse was just not it just was not in my sphere of thinking.
yeah,
And it's the thing about it is like it's not that nursing is the worst profession in the world. Yes,
it's a good one.
it's a very good profession, but
Yeah,
it's not for everybody.
no, it's
I
not for
heard a preacher
everybody.
say somebody had to graduate at the bottom of the class, and
Yeah,
that would have been probably me. But
yeah,
in that is also, I'm just gonna go back since we're all pretty much of the same ethnicity here, going back even to where that type of poverty mindset started,
hmm,
even though we're talking about a job that has the potential of making someone very very comfortable.
yeah,
It's if it is not for the right person, back in the day they would push us to be teachers and
yeah,
and things like that. And there's nothing, my grandmother was a teacher. My
yeah,
thing is, just like with Brianna, was what she was saying, that worked for them.
yeah.
Now
Okay,
I know for me, I want to see my kids do better than me.
yeah,
I want, our parents wanted us to do better. So, like
yeah,
you were saying, yes, be a nurse, but also, get you a group home or something like that, or
yeah.
something else that will offset to where you're not giving the government back half your income.
Now a group home is absolutely fine, and
Mhm.
that's kind of like another tier up. And but one thing about a group home, especially if you're doing this nursing full time, um, probably in the beginning, you definitely going to need some help, but something that is practical that from the money that you currently making that you can put in place so you won't have to give it away would be a home based business. It'll basically take everything that you're spending now and immediately take those things and make them tax deductible. Like that will be the first one. Like
Mhm.
the immediately first tool, the first tool in the kit. Like, okay, I got, So regardless of what you're doing, so the key word that I say, like the name of my company is Make You Better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not going to interfere. So let's say we are talking to somebody with being a nurse is their dream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to convey our message today. Like, nah,
Right.
you need to stop doing nursing. No, if nursing your dream,
Exactly.
you can continue to becoming a good nurse. But guess what? You need to add this to your toolkit to make sure that the money that you're currently making, you can maximize all, what I'm saying? You can keep all the money that you're currently making.
Mm-hmm.
You know
And
what I'm
then
saying?
turn it into, because the thing about it is, and the reason why, and just using this as an example, that's a
Hmm.
business that's recession proof,
Yes.
and if
Yes.
anything, I mean, if we ended up, even if we ended up having another issue like we've had and still now with the
Yes.
pandemic,
Yes.
that is actually going to be the most sought after,
Exactly.
job, profession, source of income. So we're definitely not knocking that, but it's
Not at all.
definitely something to look at if you
Yeah.
wanted to use that to build wealth,
Yeah.
and to establish yourself for retirement. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Stephanie, because
All
Stephanie
right.
is she's a nonprofit owner, and
Right.
so we're going to get into that as well. So guys, we will be right back after this message from one of our sponsors.
Grand Rising Bomb Squad, it's Tulip's Bomb Body Care Company. This morning's tea blend is made for mental stimulation, energy, and clarity. I'll be posting more herbal tea blends videos, so make sure to follow for more tea blends, self-care, bomb products, and more. Have a good day and make sure to love on yourself.
Amen.
No matter how far you fall, you can get back up again. He is waiting on you. Just get back up again. My brother, my sister, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've done, you can get back up again. Get back up again. Get back up again.
That was beautiful. That was a scene from last year's Praise in the Park, and those ladies are going to come back and bless us again. And one of our other sponsors is Jeweled in Divine, making that beautiful, energetically infused natural crystal jewelry. So these are just some of my friends, Jesus, that have their own businesses and their own source of
Awesome.
income, and and we try to just support each other. So all of this is kind of in kind at this time. And so, Stephanie, I want to bring you back in because, of course, that song
Yes, ma'am.
was a saying, "It's just a sinner who fell down but got up." And so, I thought that that kind of matched with your mission and vision for your nonprofit. Can you give us some information on that and kind of bring it into this conversation as to how your nonprofit organization helps people get back up again, get on their feet, and move forward.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. Well, with we Save the People Foundation, it was rooted from me having to help my grandson's mom. She thought she was voiceless. She, at a young age, had a child. She had mental and health issues and issues that rooted from her having the generational curse. And my grandson is also autistic. So the Save the People Foundation is to help people, regardless of whatever you're going through, like the song says. You might
Mm,
fall down, but you're going to be able to get back up. So, what we
Amen.
teach here, it starts with self love because a
Mhm,
lot of people in our generation, as well as in our culture, they seem to reach out for others to love them. But when first they don't love themselves because of things that might have
mm,
happened to them, regardless of what that situation may be. So, with Save the People Foundation, we teach them how to first you love yourself. Stop going out here looking for this young lady, this young man, this
mhm,
pawpaw, this Gigi to love you. If you don't love yourself, regardless of how much you reach, you're going to continue to fall down. So what we
oh,
do
wow.
is we extend the hand.
mm,
And by us
Mhm,
extending the hand, it allows them to say, see, yes, we do help, we do care for you. We do want you to do better, but I can't want it for you. So I'm going to give you my hand to help save you, but you got to stand up on your own.
mhm,
And by us being able to do that, that's not only helping them just right now, that's helping them down the line. So me and my cousin Jesus, we like to partner together, and networking is important, and it helps us all see how we all can help each other to do exactly
mm,
what that song says, help others stand up, because we also direct them once you've made those certain steps in your life, and we've helped you with change the people, help the people foundation get that correct mindset, then
mhm,
you're exactly,
mm,
then you're ready to go on to the next step, because I have a 22-year-old, so I
mhm,
commend that young lady on
mhm,
what you're doing. Don't stop,
mm,
keep running after your goal and your dream, and never become complacent in what you're doing, because what you're doing now is awesome and amazing. You have so many people that will look up to you to say, if she done it, I can do it too.
mhm.
So we
Thank
want to
you.
help people get out of poverty with that mindset. And
Do
it's
you have
again, go ahead.
do you have some programs in your ministry that help lead people towards financial independence?
Yes, ma'am. Right now we are starting a mentorship, and with that mentorship, I will be partnering with Mr. Hawthorne. So
Mhm,
once they've made certain steps with Save the People Foundation, then
mhm,
they'll be ready for his step. One thing we don't want to do is put someone that doesn't have that proper mindset onto the next step, because again, they're going to continue to fall down.
mhm,
So first is self-love, getting yourself out of the poverty mindset, because that's not
mm,
what the case is. You can do it. We know you can do it. Now you have a system in
mhm,
place that help you. So it's providing them the necessary tools to get the job done of
mhm.
breaking that generational curse.
That's awesome. So, Jesus, back to your program. What do you How do you guide people? I know you were explaining a little bit about the program
Hmm.
teaching,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
people do have to be taught. So, if I were to come into a program like yours, just green off the street, I've
Yes,
got a
ma'am.
9 to 5. Now I want to start a nonprofit, generate multiple sources of income, but I
All right.
just don't know where to start.
All right. Well, the first thing we do is, like I said, e- even before you can move towards the nonprofit, we give you everything that you need in regarding of we give you a business. Two,
Mhm,
we give you the education on how to operate the business. So not only so it's like it's a one stop shop. So one, we immediately give you a home based business, then you get immediately get access to the education. To even run your business, you're gonna need software. A lot of times people have heard of QuickBooks in regarding of because main thing about your business, you need to have your business deductions and all of those things together, correct?
mhm,
So we give you the software that actually keep you that and educate you on how to maintain your business records. So we
mhm,
educate you on that. So we normally take entrepreneurs and literally make them better because through the teaching that we give you, that we start, kind of like how you were saying, like, wow, I did not know this about when I had you said you had your nonprofit and you was running your
mhm,
nonprofit out of your house.
mhm.
So think about how many years it probably was before you realized all of those things could have been tax deductible. Now
Right.
imagine if you knew that from Jump Street.
Mhm.
Our business, we actually educate you that from Jump Street of everything that's in regarding of your life, what is tax deductible. So you, from the word go, you're no longer losing any money.
Well, see, and I'm
So
50 years old. I'm
yes, ma'am.
51, and Brianna is 22. So
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like that this is something that we should have been this should have been taught in class. This should be taught in high school so
Yes,
that
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
when these kids come out, they do have a little bit more of direction. I mean,
Okay.
we give them the idea that either, as soon as they come out of high school, they either need to get a job, which is mostly going to be something fast food or,
Yeah.
something like that. Not to, crap on any fast food workers, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying either that or go to school or both.
Hmm.
Okay, and then become now the way I look at it is from the Bible's point of view. It says you're
Yeah.
either gonna be a sower or you're gonna be a eater. That
Yes,
what
ma'am.
you were explaining before, is what that looks like to me. And I want to be a sower. He gives
Yes,
seed to
ma'am.
the sower and
Yes,
bread
ma'am.
to the eater. So I
Yeah.
want to be a sower. And so, but now I wish that my kids had had that same mindset
Yeah.
because I was like Brianna, not me, I wasn't like Brianna's mother. My
Yeah.
mother was like Brianna's mother.
Yes,
Get
ma'am.
this, go to work, do this, that, and the other, and and get in this workforce and become this eater of
Yeah.
this,
What what
this
what what
bread.
well, it happens because of this. We have to, for one, I know a lot of times feel like it's the man, it's the man this, it's the man that.
Hmm.
Understand, America, this whole
Hmm.
country is a capitalistic society. From the
Hmm.
time our roots come from the monarchs of
Right.
Britain, and
Hmm.
in regarding of so in the monarchs, you got the king, queen, dukes, lords, and everything. So there's a natural hierarchy, correct?
Hmm.
So this is the mindset of the individuals who came and founded America, so to say. Even though there's people already here, we ain't gonna talk about that,
Hmm.
but we know about that,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
All right, so so but these are individuals who incorporate the laws, incorporate the laws. So they brought what they knew. So one thing in regarding to what they brought is ownership. Ownership and those who work up under the ownership. So all our laws operate in the exact same manner. With that being said, corporations, they the one who dictate the curriculum. So every time everybody's like, man, why they ain't teaching this in school? We all say that, right? So
Hmm.
like, well, like one of the courses that we actually got in my program is credit repair. We
Hmm.
actually teach you how to fix and repair your credit yourself and give you all the tools required, right?
Oh wow.
But America is a capitalistic society. So with
Hmm.
corporations, they the ones who fund the schools.
Okay.
Big corporations, they the one who funds colleges. So colleges curriculum is dictated by the corporation. So
Hmm.
they the ones who say, you know what? If you want your kids, because that's the main thing that a college want. A college want, they want the students to understand, if you come to this college, we have a 90% placement, in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the entice a kid. If you come here, we can almost, 9 out of 10 people who come to my college finds a job.
Mm-hmm.
And the corporation is telling them, okay, we want you to teach your kids this if you want us to hire your kids. So
Okay.
with the corporations dictating the curriculum, they the ones who telling the school, this is what you're going to teach and this is what you're not going to teach if you want to find job placement for your kids. So the main thing about the universities like mom and dad, they like, hey, you need to go get a job. So they're teaching our kids to get a job, where the true American dream comes from the ownership side.
Right.
You have to be a part of the ownership side in some shape, form, or fashion. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're not, the laws in place is going to be hammering you. It's going to make it that much harder. Just like that, basically, just like that picture you showed up with the kid
Mm-hmm.
with this hoodwink
Right.
dragging the weight. That's literally most people in America, because they are not
Mm-hmm.
exposed to what's all available. They're not exposed. So, like, in regarding a business, people always say, certain things are loopholes, but the truth is there's not a such thing as a loophole. It's just illegal tax deductions. It's like
Wow.
legal tax deductions, but you have to have you have to have yourself in position to qualify for them. So the
Mm-hmm.
first thing we do is we immediately qualify you.
Mm-hmm.
We immediately qualify you. That's why, like, our hashtag is membership has its privileges. Because
Mm-hmm.
soon as you are a member, everything that you got. Soon as you're a
Mm-hmm.
member, in regarding is we give you access to the travel. Oh wow, it's crazy. We give
Mm-hmm.
you access to the travel, the retirement. We teach literally everything in that aspect of this diagram that you currently showing. It
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely amazing that you put this up.
Okay.
Because we
That's where
literally
my mind is. That is
we
where my
we
mind
we
is right now.
so a lot of times, so in about in 60 seconds or less, in regarding is what we teach: tax minimization, learning how to write off your lifestyle, learning how to get how to get yourself out of debt, uh, building business income, in regarding of putting a short term and long term retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we call it emergency savings. We
Okay.
even talk about that, because believe it or not, even before you move into investments, which a lot of people love to immediately go through,
Right.
if you don't have a short-term emergency fund and if you don't have a long-term emergency fund, when life happens, because
Because
like
it
prime example,
does.
life does happen. It's like prime example is like this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we teach you how to create that short term, and we say that's normally about like $3,000. Long term will be
Mm-hmm.
equivalent to um, whatever you make, whatever your expenses is for a month. Multiply that number by 12, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
and that is what you call your long term savings. Now, what that does is, so when it goes to your investments, when you move into the stocks, when you move into so most people who have touched investments in some shape, form, or fashion, but because they didn't have their emergency plan set up,
Mm-hmm.
their emergency fund set up, when life happened, where car breakdown, or heater in the house go out, or wherever the case may be, they normally end up pulling from the
Yeah.
investments.
They
So
start
so
eating their
yeah,
bread.
they start, yeah, there you go. That's the
Mm-hmm.
best analogy. You start eating the bread. So what you have to do is you have to have these funds set up to protect your investments. So
Mm-hmm.
that way, when life happens, you're not touching that money, because that money can't multiply like it should. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
seed. That money is your seed. That money can't be multiplying if your hands is on it. So you
Right.
have to safeguard. So these emergency funds safeguard your money, so they continue to multiply. So when life happens, you already got things in place. So when the pandemic hit, we had so many associates who done
Mm-hmm.
came through us, and we love hearing their testimonies. Is because, you know what, Jesus, thank you for teaching us about
Mm-hmm.
how to safeguard our investments in having an emergency fund. So when this pandemic hit, I have a young lady by the name of Don Robinson, out of Hawaii. She said she told her husband, "You're not going back to work." Imagine if
Okay.
you had, imagine that you had, if you had the fund where, you had the funds, the emergency funds in place
Hmm.
where when most people had to risk their life because we didn't know nothing about this COVID-19. We didn't know
Hmm.
like the severity of it.
Right.
Imagine if you had the funding in place where you had the option of not going back to work.
Right.
Or if you had an option for those that have spouses, when you can look your spouse, your loved one directly in their eye and you telling them, no, you're not going back to work.
Hmm.
Until we figure this thing, we got more than enough. Everything is in place. We was prepared for a situation like this because we operated with these principles that MUB was teaching. We was prepared for this. Guess what? You're not going back to work until we get this thing figured out.
So
And
where do you teach MUB? Is this a college course, or is just a course that you offer through your business?
it's a course that we offer through the business. Even when the midst of the pandemic hit, like normally I had an office, down here in Harker Heights, Texas,
Hmm.
that we invite people and stuff to, because like we have like clinics and stuff. But
Hmm.
then when everything moved online, we basically did Zoom. So right now we're on StreamYard.
Hmm.
I used to have Zoom classes. Believe it or not, today I actually had a presentation, but I had one of my assistants to do my normal presentation so I can communicate with y'all.
Well, I
So,
appreciate it.
no problem. No, absolutely no problem. My cousin, she was like, they call me BJ back home. They
Uh-huh.
were like, she was like, BJ, we need to hear what you be talking about. So I was like, you know what? Let
Yes.
me. I said, you know what? Let me make a phone
Yes.
call. Let me make a phone call. And I'm gonna jump on here. And then what I would like to introduce you is to my mentor, because I heard y'all
Hmm.
also have things on Sundays. So
Right.
understand everything that I'm learning came from high nine figure earners.
Hmm.
Things that I'm learning come from nine figure earners. So in regarding of the poverty, sometimes you have to go find you a mentor of somebody
Yes.
who already has what you're reaching for,
Uh-huh.
and then hopefully they be willing to teach you exactly how to get it. So the things that I'm saying, the things that I'm sharing, just like how that young lady said, she had to get on Google, she had to go, but guess what though? The things that she was doing to incorporate a business, sadly to say, it didn't come from the
Hmm.
university. So,
Right.
she was teaching you that it's going to take non-traditional education for you to maintain that non-traditional life. And we mean by non-traditional, we talking about living lavish. We talking about what you said, the things that you're dreaming about. She told
Right.
you that, like, you know what? She had to go get non-traditional education because
Hmm.
the colleges wasn't teaching this. And I just explained to you why they're not teaching it. They're not teaching it because the colleges curriculum is pushed through corporations,
Hmm.
and the corporation literally see you as competition. So they're not trying to breed their natural competitor. Because this
Hmm.
young lady, when she get her business up and running, her firm is going to knock heads with some other corporation's firm, and that's just what it is.
Right.
So whatever marketing firm that's out there, and they might be top dollar Fortune 500 right now, but little do they know this young lady's coming. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And so they're not going to
Okay.
create. So the corporation says we're not going to create a classroom of these young ladies.
Right.
We're not going to create our soon competition. So they don't teach these things. But like she said, she jumped on Google. She found where this non-traditional education was, and she quickly applied it.
Yeah.
Everything that I teach, the key thing is you have to apply this to your life
Hmm.
quickly. And I always tell people you need to become a product of the product.
Hmm.
Because then when you become a product of the product, no different than like I'm not like we definitely operating in a Christian realm.
Hmm.
What is the main thing every Sunday that normally draws people in to get closer to God is when people give their what testimony.
Yep.
When people give their testimony on how good Jesus has been good to them,
Hmm.
how it has transformed, they went from here to there. That testimony. So we tell people in regarding of this financial education and these practices, you must quickly apply these things into your life so you can have a testimony to share about how
Hmm.
good this is.
Hmm.
So like I said, that young lady Don Robertson, that was like one of many of the major testimonies that came through here. I don't have so many people who transitioned themselves off their job.
Hmm. Well,
Like
that's
they,
how we got from there to here.
yep.
I know that in starting my own nonprofit, I did not have any resources myself other than
Hmm.
YouTube or what I could glean. And,
Yep.
even to get to this point, to speak with people like you who are willing to, at least give a step of guidance in the right direction. And I just want to say also, there's a couple of places here in Dallas. The Dallas Foundation is one place that
Hmm.
I was led to by the Small Business Association, and also the Grantsmanship Center. So you guys can take a little bit of that information. It does take doing, having that drive and determination to seek out some of these things that people are not going to give you the information for, because it is good information. If more than two people get a hold to it at one time, then the big guys are definitely going to have a problem from the small businessmen, because that's their biggest competition, So,
Exactly.
and so I wanted to quickly go into some of these streams of income, as we are looking toward our future successes. And like you said, your program, you actually give people a business. I mean, is this something that they come to you and say, this is my concept, and y'all help them create a business? Or do y'all just have a whole bunch of businesses sitting in the back,
Well,
and you toss them up?
the first business is that people, it's hard for people to receive it, but it's the
Hmm.
absolute truth. Your first business is you.
Okay, I
You
believe
you
that.
you are your first business.
Hmm.
Everything about you is the business.
Hmm.
So in regard to what we do, you talking about the tax minimization, getting out of debt, fixing your credit, getting a financial education so you can
Hmm.
learn to invest wholesale instead of retail. You are the business.
Hmm.
You and learning how to write off your lifestyle. You apply those things into your life, and then other people is going to want it. Other people's going to want it, and then when they want it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to share your opportunity with them.
Hmm.
You're going to make money when people be like, you know what, I want what you have.
Okay.
Like, wow, you mean to tell me you taught yourself how to raise your credit score from a 425, and now 6 months later you got it up to a 725? How did you
Hmm.
do that? How did you do that? Come in business with me, and I'm gonna walk the dog with you. They
Okay.
go in business with you. Now you done generated you some business income, and you literally, it's like literally each one teach one uh, a concept. It's each one teach one concept where we immediately give you a business, and then as soon as we give you a business, especially for those who are already employed, imagine uh, we teach you how to give yourself anywhere between $2 to $1,000 pay raise a month
Mm.
on what you currently got going on. How many
That's a
people would
whole
love it?
nother job.
Yeah,
Hmm.
how many people would love that pay raise?
Hmm.
We, 'cause I had a young lady that was active duty military. It was ironic that the young lady said her husband's a disabled veteran. I
Hmm.
had a young lady that was active duty military. She joined the opportunity. She was an E8 at the time, and I helped her put like over $825 a month back into her household. That was money that she was once losing. Remember what I
Mm.
said? Like 33% of your income that was getting taxed.
Hmm.
Then we show you how to stop getting taxed. We
Hmm.
taught her how to stop getting taxed so much, and we was able to put back an additional $825 back into a household that she was losing.
Wow.
Now, how many people that you know at your job would love to have an additional $825 a month? Well, guess
I,
what?
I would.
everybody. Okay.
All right, now we take that $825, and then we're going to start building your short-term emergency fund.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or we can take that $825, and let's say we take 600 off, 600 of it to pay off a debt real fast. Let's say you had like a credit card. You know what I'm saying? That compound interest is working against you instead of for you. So let's take this $600 and let's knock off this credit card. So that way we can bring that cash flow back into your household. You can bring that cash flow back into your household. Now, once we pay off all those debts, now we can start setting up the short-term emergency fund, and then creating the foundation so we can move towards investments. Because first we got to have our investment protection.
Right.
So when you start seeing this ball roll, and
Hmm.
your whole life is starting to change, your
Hmm.
credit done went up. You got a short-term emergency fund. You got a long-term emergency fund. You start now. You're putting $1,000 into your retirement account. So it's because retirement is an income and not an age, right? So most people don't know that you chasing a dollar sign and not a year. You can
Okay.
retire. You can retire when your money say you can,
Right.
and you
Okay.
can't. And you can't retire until your money say you can.
If
Hear
that
me
is
out.
true, because we got a whole
You
lot
can't.
of 70
You
and 80
retire.
years old in
Yeah,
the workforce
retirement.
now.
Retirement is an income and not an age.
Hmm.
So you only can retire when your money say you can. Now you can earn a company pension after 30, 40, 50 years from a company, but if that money don't look right,
Or
if
if
it
you
ain't
get
enough for you,
look, or you get the
yeah,
Bernie Madoff, the Enron scam, the
yeah,
all that
yeah,
other stuff
yeah,
that's taken place over the last 20 years.
yeah, yeah. So so in regarding of that, that's what you call learning how to invest wholesale and understanding investments. Because
Hmm.
for those who normally fell into that position, those are people who didn't understand investments, and somebody convinced them to trust me and not yourself.
Come through. Now there's a spiritual message
Trust
right there.
trust me and not yourself. Because with the
Hmm.
education, you will have enough information where you can learn to trust yourself.
Hmm.
But a lot of these investment firms and investment companies, they'll brag about, their PhDs in financial education and this and that. And they're using all of these certifications for you to feel comfortable to trust them instead of you learning how to do the things where you can trust yourself.
And on that, I want to bring Brianna back in real quick too, because and I kind of want to put that together with what you were talking about, Jesus, about the student being their first your first product, your first business, and so Brianna kind of put that together for me, what that looks like as a person being you being your own first business. How would your company take a person? Um, who is branding, basically branding themselves, to become a business, what would you do for them?
So personally, DIY, doing your own brand yourself is encouraged if you do not have the access to the funds or anything. So build your own logo, build your own brand voice, build your own brand design, as long as you know like who you are, who your core values are as a business, and everything like that, who your target audience is. I suggest you DIY your own brand for your business.
Hmm.
So when I was going in with my business, with my brand, I thought I had to impress everybody around me. So initially, I went with this whole style that did not fit me, that was not my character. I marketed myself as like this high end luxury studio, blah, 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 blah. It was just a
Hmm.
lot of not me. So now when I rebranded myself, I took a step back, and the key components that I had to look at is who am I attracting to my business? Who do I want to attract to my business? Who my target audience is. Another key component I had to look at is where am I going to get my money? Am I going to
Mm,
have, a couple of referrals every month? Or am
Hmm.
I going to have my own pool of clients who I can pull from, who I can access from, who I can advertise to, which is easier? You may or may not be mentioned in the conversation and you'll get business, or you go out there and acquire the clients and get business. So I express, this high, because of course, just like Jesus was saying, they don't teach you this stuff in college. When I was in
Right.
college, I was learning about design, and that's it. And my senior year, pretty much a week or two before graduation, all they said about freelancing is, yeah, freelancing is okay, but go into a company, go into a corporation. And my professor profoundly expressed, oh, by the way, there's going to be a high turnover rate as a designer, so you might be employed there for a year, but next year it's not looking good for you. And
Mm.
so that was absolutely not encouraging. That was not
Wow.
encouraging. That scared me. Like, I can't
yeah.
have this high life of 1 year for me and my family, and then the next year I don't know what I'm doing with myself. I want a
Yeah.
constant
Well, that's a
stream of
healthy fear
steady
to have.
income.
Yeah, that's a healthy fear. You
Yeah.
never know. Man's rejection is God's protection, because I'm sure that
Mhm.
the horror or something like that is probably what lit a fire under you to go ahead and kind of create your own lane and secure your future. And like Jesus was just saying, take control of your own situation. As to rather than letting society or the man or the employer, the sower, determine how much you get to eat.
Yep.
Mhm.
Correct.
Mhm.
Man, that is so powerful.
Isn't
That is
it?
absolutely powerful.
It really is.
Because the crazy part is, just like her, I had went to school too. I went to for marketing and management.
Hmm.
My whole and the crazy part is, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had this concept that I believed that I thought that the school was going to teach me how to become a business owner. Then I
Hmm.
quickly found out that the universities was in place to make sure that I just become an outstanding employee of somebody else's business.
Oh my God, ain't that a
Like,
high level
Correct.
plantation
like,
thing?
like
Like,
so,
It
and
is.
I'm like,
It
and I'm
is.
Mhm.
like, so because so even when you tell family and friends, they're like, well, go to school and get the education so you learn how to become, a business owner. And then you get to school and kind of find out, no, there are certain courses and classes they'll teach you. They'll teach you about accounting.
hmm.
They'll teach you. They're going to teach you by by the economy, macro and micro economy, and this and that, and in
Hmm.
regarding of economics. But there wasn't no true curriculum about being a business owner. And then when I ran across this opportunity and these individuals, they were like, why would it? They said, why they go teach you how to become the competition?
Hmm.
Like, you said, think about it. When they slowed me down, because I'm like, man, I was so frustrated. And then when I ran across this opportunity and I started learning stuff that I felt like I should have learned in school,
Hmm.
and I'm like, man, you mean to tell me I don't spend all this money in school? And he said, and they are not going to teach that. And the stuff that we're teaching you, that
Hmm.
is the opportunity. They were like, that's the opportunity. So
Hmm.
I was like, wow.
Hmm.
I was like, absolutely wow. But
Wake up.
but
Okay.
just like her, like this young lady, and I applaud her. I
Hmm.
absolutely applaud. It's so
Love
amazing
it.
to hear
Hmm.
a young 22-year-old who
Hmm.
catches it immediately. Like, you know
Get
what?
it? Yeah.
She was like, these people are not for me.
Hmm.
And she immediately took action on it,
Hmm.
and found a workaround.
Hmm.
Most people normally give up and go back into the workforce and become a disgruntled employee.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure if y'all, for those who had jobs, you worked with this person and you trying to figure out, like, why you come to work every day when you hate being here. So
Hmm. I
instead of
ask
her
myself that.
so instead of her being a disgruntled employee, she stayed focused and worked on her vision, and I
Hmm.
applaud her for that. But she
Right.
is speaking absolute truth, and I'm
Hmm.
glad that whatever spirit that the Holy Spirit dropped in on her to let her know that, what, we got something better for you, and
Hmm.
she's moving in it, because it's facts.
It is.
It's absolutely facts. Everything she's teaching and sharing.
Well, I
Yep.
wanted to go over. We've been on here about an hour, almost and a half. I don't want to go over an hour and a half, but I just want to look at some of these streams of income. Now, I know that now I don't know anybody that has all eight. Okay.
Okay.
But if you were to pick the top three from this list for, an average Joe like me or
Hmm.
Jill, then what would you? I mean, I got earned income from working a job, got that one. Okay,
Hmm.
so what other stream of income would add value to my life, but not have me working like a Hebrew slave?
Actually, every last one of them. So it depends
Okay.
on which. It depends on which one that you want the most. So
Mhm.
I mean, it depends on, like, whatever you're comfortable with. But realistically, like, just with the opportunity that I kind of operate in, that earn income, okay, they came from your job. So
Mhm.
for those who got a job, you can maintain that income, profit income. We actually got things that, there's things that you can always sell. You can always sell something, or whatever the case
Mhm.
may be. So I'm gonna take this away from me, just talking about, like you said, the average person. Interest income, that comes from, like, okay, like, if you buy a bond.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy a bond, so a lot of times you hear people say stocks and bonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So bond is actually something. It's like an investment. Uh, it's an investment vehicle that you can put your money, that you can purchase, and then that bond will actually start earning interest. Because basically, with a bond, you lend your money to the company who created the bond.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say like there was a bond like not too long ago there was a transportation bond because I believe y'all in the DFW area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all know how the highway I-35 and I-30 is all jacked up, right?
Right.
So the state of Texas created a bond to pay for that highway getting fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So there were certain individuals that actually purchased that bond. So that bond had an interest rate tied to it. So they say, like, you know what? If you buy this bond, whatever money that it was, like hypothetically, let's say if it was $5,000, we're gonna take your $5,000 and we're gonna add 18% interest to it for 20 years. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't. So legally, you don't supposed to cash this bond out for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so over 20 years, each year that $5,000 is earning 18% interest rate. Now this is a hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
So in regarding of that, it's kind of like what you said. That's your seed
Mm-hmm.
money. So
Right.
over 18, so over 20 years, $5,000 earning 18%, and it just keep compounding. It keeps growing and growing and growing until the 20 years is up, and then you can cash out that bond.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you can earn interest income. Now, residual income, like this young lady right here, with her firm, uh, her having clients that's willing to purchase her service like on a monthly basis. So like I don't know exactly what is her scale that she use, her income scale that for her clients to maintain. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say she put our clients on a year contract, and they paying XYZ amount of money for a month throughout that year. That will represent residual income. So because that's guaranteed income that she's going to be bringing in every month.
Mm-hmm.
So hypothetically, let's say it's like it was $150. I don't know how I hope I ain't lowballing you. I apologize if I am. So let's say she had a client and the client is paying $150, $200 a month.
Just a little.
I apologize. Please forgive me.
I know that's
Okay,
right.
let's raise it up. Let's crank it up there. So $300, right? So they're paying $300 a month. So I don't know how much that is a year, but long story short, she knows she got at least $300 a month for the next 12 months. That's residual income. So dividend income, that comes when you actually own a proportion of a stock that pays out dividends. So you can actually Google that. So a lot of times people will buy stock, but one of the main things you need to figure out is, does this company pay out quarterly dividends? So so for those, once you get your emergency fund set up, so you ain't touching your investment in money, then research to find out what's companies that pays out quarterly dividend stocks, so you can earn some of that income.
I mean, is
Now,
there what about like the penny stocks and things like that? I mean, is that a waste of
the,
a penny? Because every
not
time I see a penny on the ground, I pick it up.
penny stocks. Those are companies like startup companies, and I think it's called the OTA,
Mm-hmm.
where you can actually find them. So those are high risk companies.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do enough research and you find a company and the company starts soaring, you get bigger returns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's high. So in regarding investment, it's like high risk, high reward, right? But most people, as you invest, you really want to kind of manage a risk. You wouldn't want to put your retirement income into some type of penny stock or something like that. And
Okay.
and really anything under $5 a share
Mm-hmm.
will be equivalent to what people call a penny stock company. A
Okay.
penny
Because
stock
we don't
company.
want to waste no money, because
Nah, that's the key thing. Matter of fact, if you follow Warren Buffett, and like, so this is one thing I'm saying in regarding removing the hoodwink. He's
Mm-hmm.
like from like the kid with the little thing across his face.
Mm-hmm.
When you start listening to people who actually got what you want, one of the key things you want to put yourself in a position, never lose money. And that is a quote from Warren Buffett. He said, when it
Absolutely.
comes to investing, the key word is to never lose money.
That's true.
Always gain, always gain.
Yeah.
And that's another problem where somebody might catch a whisper from a coworker about a penny stock, and they sit there
Mhm.
and put half of their life savings in it, and that company
Oh
go belly
Lord.
up. Now
Mhm.
they don't want to touch investments ever again, but you need to be investing.
Mhm.
It's like literally it need to be mandatory within your life that you need to be investing. But the key thing that you would like that you practically would want to do is you want to find like a company that's part of the like Fortune 500, a company that's
Mhm.
been well established for 20 and 30 years, like in the beginning as you starting
Mhm.
learning that, because like you said, you never want to lose money. uh so you took it down. I was about to go down the
Well,
list.
what did you want? Oh no, I'll put it back up because I,
uh
while you were talking about investments and things like that, and
yeah,
different types of income, I was wanting you to kind of go into the cryptocurrency because I really
crypto,
don't know
okay.
about that, but I
Yeah.
know that it can be a source of income and revenue.
Well, crypto has been doing its thing. It's starting to
Hmm.
become like a new median of
Hmm.
of money. So no different than how we went from gold to paper money.
Hmm.
Crypto is creating its space. Matter of fact, I read something that is saying that United States is about to start taxing crypto earners, because people been, think about it, for probably about the past 10 to 15 years there was a space where people was living off of crypto completely tax free.
Okay,
The government wasn't touching, but they were still maintaining
there
a
you go.
quality of life. They was maintaining a
Right.
high quality of life through crypto. Buying, purchasing once again, it comes with a lot of education. So if
Hmm.
you ain't the type of person that's like this young lady that's on here who her firm, if you're
Hmm.
not willing to jump in there and study and learn a lot,
Hmm.
it could hurt you because you're not understanding what you're dealing with. And
Okay.
that's another key thing about investment. Never invest into something that you don't know about. Don't put your
Well,
money
that's
into
the
something
thing,
that you
because
don't know about.
I don't know nothing about stocks. I know nothing about cryptocurrency. All I know
Oh
is
wow.
dollars and cents.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so I mean,
What?
but I wanted to get into the cryptocurrency because
Yes,
you
ma'am.
see it everywhere. And, with
Yeah.
so many, I have a couple of online banks, but,
Okay.
the online banks don't, they have different restrictions from the brick and mortar banks. So I don't want to
Yeah.
be doing something that where it's not going to serve, or where those two things cannot coincide
Coexist. Yeah.
into where they can't coexist or anything, because I really feel like, I feel like the light's gonna go off one day, and I'ma still need my jar of pennies, and and my
Yeah.
foldable money, and and whatever's
Yeah.
going on now, like the like what was it? I'ma need these jars
Yes,
as
ma'am.
mattress money, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
But
ma'am.
I mean, can currency be considered a source of income?
Yes, it absolutely can. Once you understand the operations of it,
Hmm.
from knowing when and what to buy,
Hmm.
and then knowing when and how to sell it.
Well, and
So
that's the problem, Jesus.
yeah.
We don't know that those types of things. So how do we get someone that doesn't have that education and really doesn't have the proclivity to sit down and learn it out of this type of situation to where
Uh,
they can make a difference in their life?
well, there's one there's matter of fact, even in my particular company, we have a subject matter expert that kind of operates in that space,
Okay.
and she holds classes and teaches that,
Hmm.
and literally teaches that, and that kind of rolls into our investment side of the house. But yeah, we have people in place that actually teach us that information. But uh, away from myself, kind of like what that young lady just spoke about, you really got to get on Google and
Hmm.
start researching and educating yourself. Now, my particular platform, like I said, we have people already in place that can literally walk the dog with you in regarding of that aspect, so you have a clear understanding of it. But
Hmm.
the information is available on the
Hmm.
World Wide Web.
So you
But
kind of have to
you
want
have
to
to,
get it.
yes, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
want to get it. That you're gonna have to want to get it, and you really got to start paying daily attention.
Uh-huh.
Like, and that's the key thing, because everybody, and it really kind of rolls into like a behavior because
Mhm.
everybody got better things to do other than be free.
Well,
They got
honey.
they got so many things to. Everybody got better things to do other than be free. You know what I'm saying? So you be like, hey, you know, this right here can make you financially free. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, man.
honey, look,
But
I ain't
but
got nothing to do
I got
but
to
be free.
yeah. But you be surprised. You be
Mhm.
surprised because literally through conversation with somebody one of the key things like I was telling you like we actually got a class that teach people how to fix their credit themselves,
Mhm.
and then you was like, well, have you sat there and watched the videos? Have you went through the training? You got any questions? Man, I ain't had time to look at it. I'm like, what you
Mhm.
mean you ain't had time to look at it? So literally what they saying is I got better things to do other than to be free.
Mm.
Other things came on. Okay, regarding the investment education, we got courses and stuff that literally, like you say, I want to learn how to invest. They ain't nobody teaching me these things.
Mhm.
We are teaching these things from live classes to actually informal online classes.
Mhm.
I've had clients. I'm like, hey, okay, you got any questions over the investment aspect? You know, did you go over anything? And you hear people say, I haven't had time to look over the investment education. So okay, so you ain't got no time to be free. You ain't got that's literally because you have to learn quickly apply these things into your life for you to move forward in that direction. So it's equivalent to almost like Moses and the Moses in the when they was in the wilderness.
Mhm.
You know, it's supposed to been a 12-day trip, but
Right.
because uh people and they griping, you know, it ended up being 40 years. Like you didn't even supposed to be there that long.
Right. Oh my
But
God, I can
but you
relate.
but you know, but you got better things to do to other than to be free. You know, you
Mhm.
got better
Well, I
you can
mean, it took me working in corporate America 40 years to be
yeah.
like, look, I ain't finna do this no more. I can't. And I started looking into other, ways,
Yeah.
and of course, becoming an independent contractor was one of the things that I could do, but I was still
Hmm.
working for somebody else. But
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up here in a minute, and we're gonna have to do this again. I think we might have to have a Tuesday night less dear broke people conversation so that we can hit upon all of this, because I want the people to be free like me. And I was looking at
Yes, ma'am.
other ways for people to earn income, and I saw, you can start a vending machine business. I was looking
Yes.
at one of
Yes,
those, and
ma'am.
Yes.
that's a real good passive income. And
Yep.
who's really gotten rich, like she wasn't already rich, but has really gotten rich off vending machines, I believe is Kylie, uh what's her name? The Kardashian, but she's not she
Oh, Jenner.
yeah,
Jenner.
Kylie
Kylie.
Kylie
Jenner.
Jenner?
Jenner.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
sells her beauty brand out of vending machines, and
Hmm.
they have them in the
Wow.
airport and everywhere. I mean,
Wow.
and you
Right.
pay for them.
Eyelashes and hair as well.
Everything. And so that is one of those, that creativity, like we were talking about with
Mhm.
you, Brianna, um, that creativity of, especially with younger people. I want us old folks to get to where we're able to be financially free as well. But I want my children to get that mindset that,
Yep.
nothing is a crazy idea. Used to be
Yep.
back in the day, if our kids came to us with an idea that was, outside of them nine dots that we had set up for them, then we kick them out, go make them live in people attics and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
But
Yes,
Yep.
now,
ma'am.
but now, like with my youngest daughter, my thing with her is to do what you love. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Find out what you love to
Hmm.
do, and or something that's using your creativity, and you will make money hand over fist just in doing that. So,
Yep.
starting a vending machine with some makeup and hair, I mean, that is an ingenious idea. I buy candy and soda pop. The vending machine used to get my whole check. I'm lying, but I'm just saying. I used
Yeah.
to,
Yes, ma'am.
a vending machine in the right place will, can generate loads and loads of income. And then there's
Yes,
drop
ma'am, it
shipping.
can.
There's
Yep.
so many things to do online. If you're online all day long and you
Yep.
pointing and clicking and not making no money, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Okay. Because
Hmm.
I mean, really, because being
Yep.
online, I mean, I work online. Everything I do is online. My 9 to 5 is online. My nonprofit is online.
Yeah.
Everything. So that's one thing. So starting a business like drop shipping, where you literally don't have to do anything other than
Yes,
point
ma'am.
and click and make
Mhm.
the arrangements for whatever you're selling. Okay. And then, of course, rental income, that's always been right at the top for
Mhm.
having passive income. I took a seminar on tax lien code a couple of weeks ago, and buying tax lien properties. That's
Mhm.
something that if you're interested in
Mhm.
and getting a really good residual income where you literally have to do almost nothing, you don't even have to ever even take possession of the property to own, to
Yes,
earn
ma'am.
about 18 to 25% on somebody's old tax bill, and if they pay it, then you get that money plus the interest. So these are some
Right.
of those things that we want to start uncovering for people so that they can get those different funds that Jesus was talking about, to for our travel funds. I know I want to go on a cruise. I start buying stocks. I don't know if I want to own a home. I've lived in a house and I don't want the headache. I just want a nice condo. So, you know,
Yeah.
and all of that. But I mean, I'm going to go around again, just like we started, and let you guys have, some final words. I'm going to start with you, Stephanie, since you're up here at the top with me tonight. And then
Yes,
we'll go
ma'am.
with Brianna, and then let Jesus have the last word. And we'll have to do this again
Yes,
real soon.
ma'am.
All right. Go
Most
ahead.
definitely. Most
Hmm.
definitely. But I would like to thank everyone in attendance today, especially our two guests, because the information that was given was very powerful. We don't realize that sometimes we have to be in the right mindset to get to where we want to be. And that information has been covered today. We see it with the young lady. She's 22 and look where she's at. I have a whole associate's degree and just finished my BSN. But look, none of those degrees taught me where I am at today and how to sustain myself to make sure that I stay there. So, like you said, we will have to do this again. I, if you guys know anyone who needs help, mental health issues, self love, I am here 24/7 to mentor those who think that they are voiceless. They are nope, they're not voiceless. So I'm just thankful to be here and thankful for everyone that was on the call.
So, thank you guys for having me. I would absolutely love to do this again. It was such a pleasure just to, have all these insights and all this encouragement coming from this group. Thank you. It was such a blessing, first off. And just, last word to the audience, it's never too late to learn anything. Your life is made up of just learning new things going down the line. So you can either be stuck in your old ways, go with the ho hum of life, or just get out there and learn new things and then learn new skills and apply those skills just to make a profit for yourself. So that's my, 2 cents of advice for anybody. Whether you are 50 and above or whether you are just getting out of high school, that is my 2 cents to you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for representing your generation well, and good luck with your business and all of your clients, and definitely come back. I mean, if you're willing to come back on here and tell the young folks something and enlighten the
Mhm.
old folks, well, I will definitely love to have you back anytime.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
I would like to give a big shout out for everybody, for the young lady who actually created this platform. The young lady, uh, so appreciate for creating a platform. The
Hmm.
young lady who just who have her marketing firm, who's building her marketing firm. Another big shout out to my cousin, Miss Stephanie, for inviting me to come on here. Appreciate that. My words of wisdom on my way out is the best ability. The best ability is availability. So make
Mhm.
yourself available to learn. Make yourself available to network because in regarding of networking, because believe it or not, that's the basic foundation of every business. Because
Right.
without a network, that business would not work. You're going to need customers. The money that you want to receive is going to have to come through people. It's going to come through people. So whether it's online or offline, it's going to have to come through people. So make yourself available for people. And you spoke about it. It's like there's not a such thing as any wild idea. Because you'd be surprised that a lot of people might be a need that somebody's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever idea that is that you put out there, sometimes the spirit to fall in on you and tell you, hey, this is what I need you to do. And believe it or not, if you don't do it, it'll give the spirit will give that business idea to somebody else to show you what you should have done. Have you ever seen that? Have y'all had that happen before?
I have.
I've seen it.
An idea fell in on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you was like, man, nah, that ain't gonna work. And you don't do it. Then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, you see the idea flourishing
in full effect, and oh my God.
And you like, oh my God, I should have done it. Done it. So with that being said, the best ability is availability. And when the spirit is telling you to do something, regardless of how crazy that it may be, and untraditional that it may be, that could be your blessing that you need to take action on. You need to take action on. So I'm not going to overboard y'all, but I appreciate the opportunity. If y'all ever need me to come back on, just let me know so we can put it on the calendar. And if you like what
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, and if you like what I spoke about, I got some friends that I would love to introduce you to.
I want to meet your friends.
So they can share even more so. They can share even more so. And the key thing is, and normally I guess they come from traditionally how people kind of operate. Like one of the first things you said, like, people want you to pay for this type of information.
Mm-hmm.
My particular circle, we have absolutely no problem with sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because it said with the 1%, with the 1%ers, this is truly how they think and operate. We can walk into a room of 100 people and we can give you the game plan, but only one person out of that 100 is going to do absolutely everything that we told them to do. And that's why they the 1%. So I've had people to tell me, say, I can literally tell you step by step what to do, but only 1 out of 100 is going to be committed to do it. And that's the reason why they the 1%. So true people who really got the information, they don't care about sharing it because they know that only 1 out of 100 person is really going to be committed to themselves. So my question is, do you want to be 1%? We don't care about sharing the information. Do you really want to be the 1%? Let's see.
Okay. If somebody give me the game, I'm gonna at least try to play.
Hey, let's see.
Okay.
Do you really want it?
I do. I really want it. That's why y'all here with me tonight. And if you'll come back, then we're gonna do this until I get it. Because I mean, I've made strides. I've made some phenomenal progress over the last year or two, and so I know that it works. And so I'm just trying to give myself the tools that I need to keep moving forward and building my own brand. But thank you guys again for joining me this evening on Lez Chat Dallas. And I hope that those, if anybody who's out there watching, if you were blessed, if you learned anything, or if you just like hearing our voices and talk and our subject matter, please like and share this this broadcast. And it also will be available on our YouTube channel on Hot Pink Pride Radio. Again, this is your girl Cherie Stern signing off. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming tonight. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Miss Juneteenth pageant.
I will never get over seeing Miss Juneteenth cleaning toilets.
The winner of Miss Juneteenth will receive a full scholarship to any historically Black institution of your choice.
Good luck. I know that you are looking to replicate your success.
What's her problem?
I beat her.
When we get the new place, we can bring you on more regular. I hate to see you working so hard.
I'm doing the best I can. I don't have the rest of the money.
We don't do credit. We don't do layaway.
You got something for her account?
You know I can't carry that kind of money on me, girl. I've been right by y'all this time.
I've been holding it down a long time around here. She my dream now. I'm gonna make sure that she's something that we ain't.
If I make the dance team, I can get me a scholarship.
I ain't gonna have my daughter out there dancing like that.
Ain't no school handing out no full ride for that. You better hope your grades turn out right.
Where's your homework? You worry about the wrong thing.
I need you focused on your studies.
Miss Juneteenth is here to prepare you for the future. Your dinner knife.
That is your salad knife. One would surely not eat the main course with that.
We are expecting greatness.
Why you making me do it? Didn't do nothing for you.
So get up and clap your hands.
I better not ever see you at my house again.
You always embarrass me.
I'm not cute. Or built to suit a fashion model size.
That's my baby.
Phenomenal woman. That's me.
Truth is I'm weak, no strength to cry, no tears to cry, even if I try, but still my soul refuses to die. One touch will change my life. Take me to the King.